Howdy! I'm Morgan Robinson, and I did my presentation and paper on political change in post Nazi Germany after World War II. So, here we go, and it's by Morgan Robinson myself. So, here we go. We're going to start this off. So, when talking about change in a political setting, or change in general, you have to talk about what happened before, what needed to change, or what happened before the change. So, in the beginning of Germany, they had an emperor, and there was more like a monarch system. So, after this went through, their second president before Hitler came into power was Paul von Hindenburg. And he was the second president of Germany during this time. And what was unique about him was that he actually won the race against Hitler. He actually won it. But he gave the full power to Hitler. He gave all his power and everything to Hitler. So that was real strange during this time. Also, during World War II, during World War II, lost my train of thought. So during World War II, it was Hitler came into power, obviously. So he was a charismatic and pseudo-transformational leader. So charismatic meaning, his speeches. He could go out there and woo people with his charisma. Pseudo-transformational is the same thing as transformational, but the leader does it for their own self-purpose and not for the followers or anything like that. It's for their own good. So Germany's leadership and government style during this time was a dictatorship. Hitler was a dictator, and chancellor during this time. The chancellor had all the power, basically. So dictatorship. He ran the government. The people did what he said. No ifs, ands, or buts. There was plenty of times where Hitler, if he thought that his generals was going to go after him, he would kill them basically. So after World War II, here's where we get to the change part of things and stuff like that. So the country divided after World War II. They split it in two parts: West Germany and East Germany. So West Germany was controlled by the Allies. All of it was controlled by the Allies, but the west part was controlled by America, France, England, places like that. And the east side was controlled by communist Soviet Union at the time. So during the midst of all this, England, France, places like that said, you know what, America, you can have it. So they gave all their rights to America when it came to Germany. So it was pretty much America versus the Soviet Union during this time. So there was also a lot of National Socialism still involved. And the way I think of this is people want to keep their old roots, And the example I used in my paper is still today, you see a lot of Southerners running around with the Confederate flag because it's heritage to them, and it's a thing of pride. Also, change takes time. It does. You can't just go into a country and expect something to change like that. It takes time, definitely. So, concepts of change. So, first of all, field. So, this is basically conflicting countries and leaders. And they needed to weigh. And one of the things they conflicted on is the German army. What size and stuff like that. How do we control the German army so this don't happen again? And next, excuse me if I pronounce this wrong, is mediating, anyways, this word right here. So this is how can we change the government without messing with the values and culture of the German people. And I believe they did a good job. So there we go. Finally, concepts of leadership. Family and race was great values at Germany during this time, and country pride, I guess you could say. But basically, the race part was, how can we get the German people past this? How do we get German people past not liking other people? And finally, the ethics of responsibility. So they needed a way to. The Americans didn't want Germany to go back to the dictatorship that they once was, but the Germans didn't want to be like America fully, so they had to compromise with that. So change practices, signalizing. So basically, they had a president and a chancellor. The president obviously is like a VP to Americans. They really don't have that much power. They have power to veto bills and stuff, but they really don't do it. A chancellor is like the president, has all the power. Legitimizing. So the German army, they had to legitimize this and make it a concern. Checks and balances, just like America, they have 3 branches of government: legislative, judicial, and executive. So checks and balances. The outcomes and impacts. Germany is one of the well-respected countries of today. Very economically stable, wonderful country, and many visitors, refugees come there. A lot of tourists. So thank you. That's my paper, and I hope you enjoyed. Thank you.